You're listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Bravo! My compliments, little lady.
Commercial!
Break for 30 seconds.
You are now listening to BaaD Radio.
Hello and welcome to BaaD Radio. BaaD stands for Business at a Distance. This is a show about local businesses and business networking. And we are here in the News Radio WFLA Orlando studios from 11 a.m. to noon every Sunday. And I am your host, Angela Smurito. And before we jump into the show, I want to give a shout out to some of our show sponsors. First off is Forge IT Consulting, providing a fully outsourced IT department with a personal touch for small business. ForgeITconsulting.com. Get Me Automated. Ashley and her team educate business owners to grow their business through custom automation, and that's what everything is going to these days, to get automated. So, and that is actually her email address, or her website is getmeautomated.com. Osteopathic Health of Orlando. They offer integrative medicine, osteopathic healing, regenerative medicine, and so much more. Visit osteopathic.healthcare. And speaking of healthcare, we're very excited because we have Steffan Brandt with BaaD Street of Winter Park back in studio. And we are even more excited because he has brought Dino Delva, who is soon to be, or not quite soon, or like what are we on time frame to be the face of the Winter Garden location?
Right now, we're already in operation, so we're operating and managing the studio, so yeah.
Okay, pull that closer a little bit to you right there.
Perfect. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear me.
You can hear you now?
Yeah. Let's go.
So welcome. And have you been on a podcast or a radio show or anything like that before?
This is actually my first time. I've been around music studios with my dad, but this is the first time I'm actually on the hot seat, if you will.
Right.
So,
well,
yeah.
I'm super glad to have you here. Steffan's been in here for 4 times, so he's an old pro. So So let's just start off by telling the audience what is BaaD Street. Let's just jump in, because like I said, we're going to have some brand new listeners that don't know what EMS stands for. And so let's start from the beginning.
Yes, and I'm glad to be here and glad to have Dino next to me. BaaD Street is a fitness franchise coming from Germany. They are on the market in Germany already for 19 years. They have over 300 locations. And we do workouts with electrical muscle stimulation. That's I would say a shortcut into fitness. Mm-hmm. So if you do regular workouts, if you want to do a full body workout at the regular gym, you need to spend at least 3 hours at the regular gym.
Crazy.
3 hours per week.
Who has time? Nobody.
And that's the recommendation from anybody who's in that industry. 3 hours to get your full body workout. We get that job done in 20 minutes a week. So it's 1 20-minute workout a week. And we activate all the muscles in your body. It's a full body workout with a personal trainer. And for your body, the effects are like spending 3 hours lifting weights with a personal trainer at the regular gym.
Right.
And we opened the first studio in the United States here in Winter Park. And we started franchising a couple of months or years ago. And now we have 3 locations in Florida. We have one in Winter Garden. We have one in Jupiter. And we are looking for more in the future.
Well, the best thing about this is that I have my own personal experience. So Steffan and I met, oh my gosh, it's been over a year, and I started working out at BaaD Street, and to me, it's a game changer. Because, I'm a business owner, I'm a mother, I have all sorts of things going on, and that 20 minutes is it. And this is how I always feel about it. Because, when you go to the gym, do you guys remember back in the day when you got to go to the gym and you kind of have that drag your feet, kind of oh man, I don't feel like doing that. And it's just so easy to sit down on the couch. Never once in the last year and a half have I had that feeling before I go to BaaD Street. And you want to know why? Because it's 20 minutes. I say to myself, I can do 20 minutes.
In and out.
There's also a really good Goodwill down the street, which is my it's my reward to myself. So
and after the workout, you just feel great. Imagine you had the greatest workout at the regular gym. You feel great. All the endorphins are jumping. The same effect you have after the BaaD Street workout.
And that is one of the things that does happen to me. I do get that sense of euphoric might not be the right word, but I feel really good. I feel it puts me in a good mood. I am sore for the days after. There's been a couple of times where I was like, whoa, that one was a doozy. But I feel it every single time, and I know it's doing its job. And so Steffan, how tell us again how you came to be the owner of BaaD Street in Winter Park.
Yeah. So I was, and I'm from Germany as well, as you might hear on my accent. And I had 2 corporate careers back in Germany. So I worked 20 years for McDonald's and 8 years for Apple. And I accepted a promotion at Apple and I started traveling. And before that, I had a pretty good gym routine. I went to the gym 3-4 times a week. I don't want to say I loved it, but it did the job, right? I stayed in shape. And as soon as I started traveling, that gym routine fell apart. And I was in my mid-30s. And I saw changes within weeks. And I saw that I got out of shape. I had to buy new clothes. Nothing fit anymore. So I was like, okay, I didn't want to accept that. And then all these BaaD Street locations opened up in Munich, Germany, the city where I'm from. And our slogan is a 20-minute workout once a week. And I'm like, I can do 20 minutes a week. So I signed up and I was member in Germany for 5 years.
Okay.
And they kept me in shape for 5 years with one of these workouts. And so I became a super fan. I brought my husband in. I brought friends in.
Right.
And then we met the founder and owner of BaaD Street. And they said their big goal is to go to the United States with this. And I was like, wait, what? That doesn't exist in the US yet? And he said, no, the machines that we are using have not been cleared by the FDA back then. So we had to wait for that. And then he said, then we look for the first franchisees who opened the first locations. And I was like, this is our thing. Yes, we already had a vacation home here in Central Florida. And so 2 years later, we opened the first location in Winter Park, and we saw the potential. We opened in the middle of the pandemic, which was a tough time.
That was a tough time for sure.
But we saw the potential, and then we said, let's get the rights for Florida and grow faster with franchisees. And now my mission is just to open more locations, find more people who open these locations, and open more studios.
Right. Yeah. And so you have the rights. When I say the rights, so you if somebody wants to have a BaaD Street franchise, you are who they go to in the state of Florida.
Yes.
Okay. And so with the Winter Garden location, tell me the difference between the two. Are all the facilities kind of set up the same way?
Yes, they are. They are. It's like McDonald's. It's different franchisees, different owners, but you shouldn't see a difference. It's the same thing with BaaD Street. I mean, we don't have people traveling from location to location. So, but if you look at the studio, it all looks the same. We have the same protocol for the workout,
right?
Which is important. We have the same training, so we make sure that if you go to Winter Garden and do your workout, that it feels like a Winter Park workout.
Right. Okay. Good.
And that's the beauty of a franchise. You don't need to think, oh, how do I call my business? You don't need to think about the website, all of that.
You've got a lot of that stuff already figured out for you.
Yes. The franchisor does that for you. They make sure that everything is in line with policies. They give you all the I give you all the training that you need in order to become successful. We train the whole team and
well, Dino, you trained me. So is that how this came to be?
That is. So I absolutely enjoyed the workouts, and I wanted to see how I can get into the leadership role.
How did you two meet?
We actually met at a networking conference.
I love networking. Isn't networking is just like the best thing in the whole world?
You never know who you run into.
Yeah. I was sitting with my friend and we were looking. We were like, this dude has massive calves, and we were just talking about. Like,
you do have massive calves.
I do.
No matter what I do, yeah. Like we were just going back and forth, and we're like, man, like we gotta do so much work. I gotta do all this stuff to get calves, and I felt like some people are just blessed with big calves, and up comes Steffan, and we're like, look at those, and he comes in and sits next to us. He's like, hey, my name's Steffan. Found out what he did, and I was like, wow, what is this EMS thing?
Right. What was your gym routine at that time?
At the time, I was going probably like 4 times, but I wasn't able to lift as much as I wanted to because I was battling like sciatica, like some knee injuries, some ankle injuries. And so like when I found out about it, I was like, this sounds kind of pretty good because I was literally getting ready. I was seeing my progress going down the hill.
Right.
And so we came in, did a quick free trial, and I was like, this is insane. This is amazing. I feel just as sore as if I did like a whole CrossFit workout.
Right. So. Well, what I love is my husband works out. He's like the gym rat, and he came and did the free session too, and he was like, okay, that's the real deal. And so I was super happy that he came, and every time I get done working out, he was like, did you hit your personal best? And I'm like, yes, I did. Which is like 99, I think.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone over 100?
No,
Okay.
99 it is.
All
so
right.
you don't, and I'm doing this now for 9.5 years, and I'm at 99 almost with all the intensity levels. you don't want to go higher.
Okay,
you
good.
don't want to go higher.
Well, I'm very proud of my 99. So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to run to break, and when we get back, we'll have more BaaD Radio. So stay tuned. Welcome back. And this portion of the show is brought to you by Premier Couples Superstore. There is no better time than now to visit because they got a huge selection of lingerie, toys, love oils, and a ton of great gifts. 5009 South OBT or shop online at premiercouples.net because a couple that plays together stays together.
Oh, yeah.
And we are here with Steffan Brandt with BaaD Street in Winter Park and Dino Delva now with BaaD Street in Winter Garden. Now, you called it something else then, and I didn't know what that word was. What you didn't say BaaD Street in Winter Garden. You
had it right.
Okay.
BaaD Street Winter Garden.
Right,
So, yeah.
right. But you mentioned when I said, "Are you guys live?" You had said something else.
Yeah, I said I was operating it, so we're running. We're running right now. So.
It was something
little
totally
fun.
different, but yeah. So you guys are both open for business,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And do you guys both have two machines? Is every BaaD Street, like you said, when I say they're the same, it's
We're going
two
after that
machines.
boutique feel, so
Mhm.
it's like very exclusive. And so for someone who has like any kind of insecurities, I saw a lot of that where people come in and they feel better there. So it's just two people versus like an entire gym. They don't know what to do and like they're kind of exposed. So it's like
Right.
you
The
trainer.
wandering around.
Yeah.
So Dina, tell us what a workout consists of.
So a typical workout, we're gonna do 2 minutes of warming up, and then we're gonna break down the different body parts. So we do chest and tris, back and core, legs, and balance, that kind of thing.
Right.
So, yeah.
But I mean, how do you get all that done? We actually, like, you guys would strap me up and water this thing down. Like, there's a whole process to
First,
it.
we're gonna greet you with a nice hello. Let us know you care. As soon as you walk in the door, and then ask you if you like some water. And then we're gonna get the straps ready. So there are different suits out there for us. We're getting the straps, the arms, the chest, the glutes, the thighs, and then once we hook you up, we get you hooked up to the Miha Body Tech machine that we use.
And it's called a what machine? Miha?
Miha Body Tech is what we
Okay,
use,
and
so.
that's the German technology.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and so when the first time you came in, were you like, okay, what's happening here?
Yes. So I was like, this is I felt like I was, I'm a Dragon Ball Z guy. I thought I was like Goku in the hyperbolic chamber. So I'm like, because we're getting the wires hooked up and then we're getting ready. I'm hooking up to this machine. And then I'm getting told that we're going to be using currents to get intense and all that. So I was like, man, I'm actually pretty excited. This is something next level. So for me, I consider myself a little bit of a daredevil, so I was all for it. And
Right. Okay.
luckily,
It's been a hot minute since your first time, Steffan, but do you remember the first time you used BaaD Street?
I remember the first time, and I remember it was overwhelming because you have that new sensation. You have the trainer, you have the 4 seconds on, 4 seconds off. But after a couple of minutes, I was like, okay, I think now that I get into the rhythm, I get into my zone. And I was sold right away.
Yeah, me too.
I felt like right after the work, I was like, okay, this is it. Sign me up. And again, I was a member for 5 years, and I would still be a member if I would still live in Germany. And I just realized now I do these workouts now for 9.5 years.
Wow.
And I do not a lot outside of that.
Right.
So I do not lift any weights. I do a run once or twice a week, like maybe 30 minutes or so. But that's it, and that keeps me in shape. And I just turned 49 a couple of weeks ago, and I looked at
happy birthday!
Thank you. And I looked at the mirror, and I'm like, Steffan, you look damn good for 49.
You look great.
But the best thing is, I feel like 29, and that's something that people, if we talk about muscle and muscle building, people think about looking good, looking sexy, being attractive, right? That's a nice side effect. Muscle has so many important roles in our life. Like it has a direct impact on mental health, direct impact on your immune system, stability, balance, all of that. So, and I don't know if you know Dave Asprey. He's the like guru of biohacking. I think he invented the word biohacking. And he said something that I really liked. He said there's just one indicator for longevity, and that's muscle, the healthy amount of muscle mass. And then in that podcast, then he talked about shortcuts and he talked about EMS workouts. I'm like, yes, we are slowly getting there. And we are still in the beginning here in the United States. We are still our goal is now to get people in to try it. As I know, it sounds pretty gimmicky. If you check our website, our social, it looks like a funny little gimmicky machine.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody who we get in that suit and start the workout, after 5 minutes, they have this like, oh, this is a real workout
Right.
here. And so everybody who tried it says, okay, now I totally get it. Now I understand
Well,
how
that's-
20 minutes and why 20 minutes a week are enough. So
That's why, like my friend Maureen, when she came
Mhm,
in, and then her partner tried it, and they're like, okay, we get it, and so that's really what it is to get them in there and do that trial.
Yeah.
Now, being based off of your social, I know. Okay, so my generation, we got brought up. You want to get in shape, you go into a calorie deficit, you get 1,200 calories, and then you work out 3 days a week, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
This was like ingrained in our head. So for me to believe that I was going to get a full body workout in 20 minutes, I'm like, you got some speculation kicking right there, especially from, like I said, my age
Yeah,
group in
yeah.
America. The younger generation, I see a little bit more open-minded. But what I found is so great about Body Street is that there's benefits for it for all walks of life.
Mhm.
So the elderly, let's talk about the elderly a little bit, because like I said, we could talk for the whole hour on
Yeah,
the benefits
yeah.
for the elderly, but
Yeah.
let's just hit a couple of good points.
Yeah. So the process of getting older is if we don't have resistance training in our life, we lose our muscle slowly. And so the main goal for 60 plus should be maintaining muscle, right? But at some point, they are not able to maintain the muscle, even if they go to the gym every day, because the joints don't support that weight anymore.
Gotcha.
So then they lose the muscle, they lose bone density, and that's what we call getting older, right? So
And then they take a fall, and then something's
right.
broken.
So
and
and we can stop that. And we can stop that. We can gain and maintain muscle, and then all the benefits kick in, and that allows you to live not just longer, but to live healthy longer, and that should be the goal. And I mean, I think I shared that last time, the story with Claudine and Richard.
oh yeah, we got
They-
to meet them. They're wonderful.
They are our favorites. So and oh, by the way, we love all our clients, but they are really our
It's
favorites.
quite
and if you
all
want to meet
right.
them,
I won't be offended.
they come every Saturday at noon, and she's 87, he's 89. When they walked in the first time, she walked in with a walking stick, very unstable, like old lady walking style. He had like this hunch over old man.
He's a tall man.
He's tall.
And so they became members, and already after 3 months, she doesn't need her walking stick anymore
I
because
love
she
this
is
story
she
so
walks
much.
much more stable now. He is, and we didn't do before and after pictures, unfortunately, with them. But if you see him walking in now, he walks tall
Taller.
and stable, and that's just incredible. And they are now members for I think 8 or 9 months, and we just love them.
Right. So you've got the elderly, and that's people, like you said, that might have a little bit of mobility issues, but they need to keep their muscle.
Yes.
All right. Then you have somebody like that has, okay,
that has muscle.
that already has muscle.
yeah.
You're going to maintain it, right?
Right. We'll actually build it up as well. So like with EMS, it's at your own pace. We meet you where you're at. So you're doing like 85 muscle contractions per second. So that's like equivalent to like your 80% max in the gym. So we see a lot of guys come in real muscle bound and like, or gals like really about that life, and we're able to actually work them out and like in that 20 minutes over time show that they're building more muscle. So
That's
yeah.
awesome.
We-
Okay.
We have on the other extreme, for example, one of our members, he was preparing for a man's physique
oh, really? Like a
competition.
competition?
Yes.
And he was like, okay, this is perfect for me because I get my full body workout in, which I need. But then on the other part of the week, after he was recovered after our workout, he can focus on the muscle groups that he needs to focus on. So he used that as a time saver or to be more efficient with his workout routine. So
You
we
know
can
what?
work with that as well.
That is a huge testimonial for that, for Body Street, is that somebody that is competing
Right.
in that category. That's
Yeah.
huge testimonial.
And the whole EMS, in Germany and Europe, this is on the market for almost 20 years. And so most professional athletes, teams, and so they get trained through EMS because
Really?
coaches love that. Because you work on muscle groups that you normally don't get to. Coaches love it because most injuries don't happen during games. Most injuries happen through the trainings. And here's almost zero risk for injury.
Right.
And they still build on muscle, but also muscle is 2 different fibers. And I don't want to get too much into the details, but there's fast twitch and slow twitch. So whatever you do at the gym, you just work on one part of the muscle group. So if you lift weights, I we are almost done. So with us, we work on both muscle fibers at the same time, which is unheard of. So it's especially
we'll
for
talk
super
more
fit
about
people,
that
yes.
when we get back. So everybody stay tuned because we have more BaaD Radio coming up. Welcome back. And this portion of the show is brought to you by Ground Up Property Services. Do you know what your sprinkler system did last night? Probably not. So now's a good time to get your system checked by Rick Hall today. And don't forget to ask him about a water sensor too, so your water doesn't get, or your lawn doesn't get too much water. Call 407-468-4295 or visit groundupinc.net. And we're here with Steffan Brandt with BaaD Street in Winter Park. And we have Dino Delva, who is with BaaD Street in Winter Garden. Got to open one in Winter Spring, so you get all the winners.
Yes,
Winter Park, Winter Garden,
Haven,
Winter Springs, Winter
yeah.
Haven, all of them. And so we talked about the benefits of BaaD Street with the elderly. Then we talked about somebody that was already in shape. And I was very happy to hear that, there's some professional athletes that use EMS and they see the benefits from it because, like you said, regardless of what my thoughts are on it, when people see, a celebrity doing it, I'm like, oh, this is the best thing ever. But professional athletes, I do have a lot of respect for. So the next thing I want to talk about is the benefits for like the new thing, and that is the semaglutides, the Ozempics, the tirzepatide. These drugs have come into the market and are highly effective helping people lose weight. But
They do.
what happens when you lose your weight? You lose your muscles.
Right.
Yes.
So, so this is something that BaaD Street also can help with. Correct?
Definitely. And I hope that all doctors that prescribe these drugs send their clients to a little journey, and because the drug is effective, it does the work, but these people who take that need to change the lifestyle while taking this drug.
Yep.
Because there's research. If you lose 4 pounds of weight, you lose 3 pounds of fat, and you also lose 1 pound of muscle. Every pound of muscle that you don't have doesn't burn calories anymore. So
But a muscle, like when you put 5 pounds of muscle next to 5 pounds of fat, there's huge. It's so much more dense. Right?
Muscle has 7 times less volume than fat.
That's so crazy.
So but if people lose a lot of weight with these drugs, but they need to change their lifestyle because their lifestyle led them to where they were before they take the drugs. So if they don't change the lifestyle, it's getting back even worse if they get off these drugs because they lost their muscle, and so the basal metabolic rate went down. So they burn less calories than before. So if they have the same diet,
that's a disaster if you think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why either they change their diet dramatically during these treatments, or they start working on maintaining. And if you do that, it's just about maintaining muscle, and that's important also because at some point your skin will look a little bit flabby. I don't know if that's a good word.
No, actually, because I'm a perfect example. I went through like a menopause. I gained a bunch of weight. Then I did the hormone thing. I got myself I lost 40 pounds. But with that weight loss, I had a lot of loose skin, and it was very embarrassing for my arms. I didn't want to wear tank tops or anything like that, and so I was very public about it. And Steffan's like, well, we know what you want to work on. So, he's turning the volume up on my arms. And I'm not kidding. Like, I did a video the other day where I was like just getting done with BaaD Street, and I showed my arm, and how many people commented on that and got
That's
back
awesome.
to me. But it it made it so I didn't have that loose skin anymore.
Yeah.
And to me, that's huge because
that is.
it's great to be nice and thin, but if you're embarrassed to put on a tank top because, you've got I said in my video, when you're like in 3rd grade and the teacher's yelling at you and her skin's all flabbing there. So I was like, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. So that is another huge piece of business. I think from a business point of view, but another benefit for BaaD Street.
Yep.
So you've got the time.
Yep.
You've got the ability to help with the elderly, the people that are already fit, the people that are on a huge weight loss journey.
Or people that never went to the gym. There's a term, I just learned that a couple of weeks ago, the term gym anxiety. That people who never went to the gym, they don't feel good going there because they have the feeling like everybody's looking at them. They do things wrong, which they do if they don't have a personal trainer, which is dangerous and not helpful. So, and I think we have a solution for that as well, because the studio, it's very boutique. There's never more than 2 people at the same time. So
and
it's
everybody's always so friendly. Yeah, and I'm not just talking about the people that work there. I'm talking about the people that go there.
There's good vibe, great energy.
Yeah.
So, no, I like I said, I'm personally attached to BaaD Street, and I love watching your successes, and I love watching people, like when I talk to them and I ask them about how they're doing, when I get to hear their stories about how they went through knee surgery and now they're doing this, and they all have that same compassion towards it. So as you get more involved with Winter Garden, so let's just talk about some of the things that like, are you going to be the face, the trainer,
right,
correct?
Yes. So I'm doing day-to-day operations, working on the transition experience, leading all the trainings. So yes. So
very nice. And so what does it take to become a franchisor? What is it? Franchisee?
Yeah, franchisee or franchise. We call them franchise partners, because we look at them as partners.
Right.
And so the first thing, you should like the workout. So there should be a little passion about fitness and touching people's life and getting people in shape. So and then we always say, try the workout, because you will not be good in selling a product if you don't really like it. So
right.
But again, most people like the workout, and then they just talk to me, and then we look at locations, and then we go step by step. So we have a kind of like a countdown plan. So right now we are working on a location, fingers crossed, in Mount Dora, which is super exciting.
Yeah, I got to see the location. It's I love that building.
And so with hers, we are now in we have more and more community.
About how much square hundred? I mean, how much square footage that you do need?
Perfect is 1,000 square foot.
1,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 800 works. 1,200 is okay as well. 1,000 is perfect. Important is it should be parking available, because you want members be able to come in on time. And it's a destination. It doesn't have to be on the main street, because this is not an initial buy, right? So because we are a destination, so that's why it can be off the main street. It should be somewhere where people go once a week, like at a shopping plaza or something like that, next to a Publix or something like that. And then we plan the build out. So Munich helps with planning the build out.
That's really nice.
And then we find a contractor. So we are in that process right now for Mount Dora. And as soon as we have that done, then she finishes the business plan, and then we sign the franchise contract, and then it's really getting serious. So then, depending on how long the build out takes, we will train her, we train her team, we do the pre-sale marketing and all of that. And hopefully, what do we have now? April, hopefully end of the summer we get that open.
That's amazing. So I know that there's like the open area. So you have basically the workout area. Tell us a little bit. Well, I know we're okay. Tell us about what other parts are involved. So you have beautiful changing area, very private, very good. You have the bathrooms. And does all of them required to have that look and feel as well?
Yes. So we have this lounge area where people can wait for the workout and rest shortly after the workout. 4 changing rooms, because we don't need more. We never have more than 2 people at the same time. We have a shower, we have a blow dryer. So we have a lot of people who come in their lunch break or between 2 workouts. And we want to make sure that we make it as easy as possible for these people, that get it in and out in 30 minutes.
Right. So you can, take your lunch break, you go there, you get changed, you do your workout, you take a shower, you get yourself cleaned up, and then back off to work. And you literally can do all that in less than an hour.
Grab a protein shake and
head on your happy way.
Yeah. And also another cool thing is, Dino just mentioned the warm-up. Yes, the warm-up is done in 2 minutes. And then we do the workout. But then also if you do resistance workouts, you are supposed to stretch after that, right? So our workout, the workout, it's like yoga-esque, like positions that you do. It's a stretching in itself. So there's no stretching required after this. So anything that just adds up to your regular workout, like the warm-up, changing, lockers, all of that stretching after that, we don't have that. So that all happens in 25 minutes.
I always think of Good Morning America, because that's what that's what the trainer says, and I'm always like, that's the hard one. All right, well, we're going to go to break. When we get back, we'll have more BaaD Radio, so stay tuned. Welcome back, and this portion of the show is brought to you by BaaD Street of Winter Park. Experience the future of fitness at Body Street in Winter Park. Lose weight, build muscle, tone your body in only 20 minutes a week. Visit bodystreet.us, where fitness meets efficiency. And we are lucky enough to have Steffan Brandt with Body Street in Winter Park, as well as Dino Delvo with
Winter Garden.
Winter Garden. So, and I've had a great time talking to you guys. And what's so great, like I said, I love how much I know about this stuff, and I enjoy telling people about it as well. Because trust me, I get compliments, and I'm not like tooting my own horn, but I am 52 years old, and I have recently gone through like a pretty dramatic weight loss. And I love telling people about Body Street. But one of the things that they always ask me, though, is how much does it cost? And I don't shy away from that at all. It's not like the elephant in the room. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, it costs this much. And I have yet to have somebody scoff at it and be like, oh, that's way too much. So how did you guys come up with the pricing structure?
So yeah, I'm glad that you bring that up, because people, I just learned recently that somebody said, oh, my mom is now doing the rich people's workout. I'm like, what are you talking about? But they learned, like, the Kardashians do AMS workouts, but they don't go to Body Street. They let the personal trainer come to their house. And these high-profile personal trainers charge up to $400 a session, which is definitely worth it if you consider 3 hours of lifting weights with the trainer. So it's. So what I like about Body Street, we make this technology, I would say, affordable. And so the trial is free, and there's no catch. We don't do any crazy hard selling or so. It's not like a lock the door, like until they sign. So we just want to get people exposed.
You're not selling timeshares,
because then people. But that's what the fitness industry is kind of like famous for, right? So we don't do that. We want just people to enjoy the workout. If they sign up, great. If not, they talk about us. So and that's where we are. So free trials. And after that, if people sign up, we work membership based. And the reason for that is we want people to see results. We want people to. We don't have drop-in sessions, because drop-ins is like maybe you do a month, and drop-in means like, oh, I come a week and then I
I got you.
Skip a month. And if you do that, it's like going to the gym once a month. You have a good workout, but you will not see anything.
Of course.
So our requirement is one workout a week. And that's why we work membership based, and we also charge weekly, and the memberships start at $49.90 a week, which is, if you consider it's a personal trainer, it's high edge technology or cutting edge technology. I would say it's not cheap, but it's affordable. It's the same alley like all or most other boutique fitness studios out there.
Well, I can tell you right now that you couldn't hire a personal trainer that was doing what you get through Body Street at that price. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. And not to mention, you got to think about the time you're saving. In my world, that time is money.
Huge. Yeah.
Because, like I said, if you own your own business and when you're not out there promoting your business, then you're losing money. So if I'm going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, spending an hour to 2 hours with a personal trainer, it's costing me a lot more than just that. Yeah. So actually, so it's $49. Is there memberships that are above that? I mean,
yes. So we have a minimum commitment, time commitment, which is 2 months, so 8 workouts.
Okay.
And they are at $69.90 a week.
Oh, okay.
That's the time that you need to see results. 2 months is the time that you see, oh, there's a little triceps coming out. There's something happening here.
I'm like, I got a bicep.
After 6 months, other people see the results. And that's the other membership option. That's $15.90 a week. And the 12-month membership is $49.90 a week.
Okay. And that's
when it's more lifestyle. Like you, like I was the same thing. I'm like, okay, this is my thing. I will do this forever. So that's the... Yeah, and we want to, of course, encourage people to sign up for the longer membership. We want to incentivize. So
they get benefit. There's a benefit to signing up for a long thing. Now, what about if like somebody needs to move, or like are you locked into a contract for a long period of time, or do you give them like if you give us a 30-day notice? Because like I know some contracts where once it's like you sign that. You sign that in blood, and it's like first rights, the rights of your first child and stuff.
So if you don't give us any reason, and after the 12 months, you have a 4-week cancellation period. So it's not a full year that you renew. So it's after that you can drop out after 4 weeks of cancellation after you did the whole year. If you wanna quit before that and give us no reasons for that, then it's a $250 cancellation fee. If somebody moves out of state or moves out of Orlando, if somebody I don't know.
It's
I'm
injured, like
I always say
beyond-
I'm the owner. Talk to
Yeah.
me, and
Right.
so I'm not a bad person. So just
I
just
know
just
that. That's
just,
right.
just communicate with us, and then we find a solution. So
Mhm.
we want to create happy, healthy people, and
Right.
not people who feel bad or feel buyer's remorse. And to be honest, I don't want to have people in my studio who don't want to be there.
No,
So
I
that's why-
agree.
Energy matters.
Huh?
Yeah.
The energy matters. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I meant, like I said, this has got nothing to do with Body Street, but I've worked out next to somebody that I specifically asked not to work out next to them because they were just a really unhappy
I was
person.
there for that. Yeah.
And energy wise, like I kind of hurt. But again, like you said, you can choose, and that's another thing that I find extremely beneficial is that you guys are flexible with my schedule.
Mhm.
Again, I'm a business owner. I don't work a normal Monday through Friday 9 to 5. If I need to change, you guys are available via text, which is great.
Mhm.
You send me reminders the day before.
Mhm.
What are all the different steps that you go to make sure the people show up?
So there's an automated email
Mhm.
that comes out and reminds you, but we also send text. So we
Mhm.
learned that people need that, and it allows them to say, "Oh, can I reschedule? Can I do this?" So it's like we start a communication with the reminder
Mhm.
text, and that's not automated. This is the trainer who's
I
typing that
know.
in. So
Because I'll respond.
And-
I'll be like,
and-
oh, shoot,
yeah,
I
but
do
but
have
we
that.
we want to have that personal touch. We want to be like your big box
friends.
gym where you have 8,000 people or 8,000 members. So and then for the appointment, some people need a recurring appointment. And again, we do whatever makes it easy for people to come in once a week. If it's a
Right.
recurring appointment, if you find that one, that's yours forever.
Right.
If you want to keep it flexible, we can do it flexible. We have an app where you can switch appointments, book appointments, cancel
Oh,
appointments.
tell me
So
about. I wasn't familiar with the app.
it's called. So we work here in the US. We work with Zen Planner. That's
Mm-hmm.
our studio platform, and they have an app. So you can just and if you don't have it, I send you the credentials, and then you can
Yeah.
easily. I mean, we love it. You call us or if you text us, but you
Right.
can also just go on the app and cancel your
That's what
appointment.
I do
and-
now.
and-
Is
and
I
find-
have
and
you on my
find-
phone. I
and
just
find
text.
another one.
I'll
Yeah.
just be like,
Yeah.
hey, I need to change it because I have a meeting or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I personally work better with like a scheduled time
Mhm.
because and then I plan around it.
Yeah.
I
The
know that.
consistency. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that on Wednesday I moved it to Friday, but I'm moving it back to Wednesday because that's where I was and that's
Yeah.
what was working the best for me. I know Wednesday 10:30 I'm going to
Mhm.
be at and sometimes I'll just book my meetings around it
Right.
Yeah.
because I know how long it's going to take. I know, like you said,
Yeah.
I can get cleaned up. And so, like you said, it's just been awesome having you guys on today. We're not wrapping it up just yet, but I want to talk about the Winter Garden location a little bit, like where you guys are located at.
We're
just
right
give
over
us-
there on 1200 East Plant Street. We're in the Healthy West Orange
So Winter
building.
Garden is if you get on 50 and you just keep driving like
all the way head
all-
west.
yeah,
Yep.
head
Catch the
west.
sunset. Yep. And then we're on a My Healthy West building,
Mm-hmm.
Orlando. And so they're actually one of the great nonprofits out there that's pushing a healthier initiative for West
Okay.
Orlando. So it's a great fit for us.
Mhm.
And the people there are also very cool and health aware.
Conscious.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
And then are you going to be doing some events like Steffan does?
Yes, absolutely. I can't wait. Like told somebody the other day, I'm like, we're actually starting to get into the Bridgerton season where we're just going to throw festivals or parties to get people to come in and be aware of who we are and where we're
Uh-huh.
at. And so, yeah. we're looking
Because
forward
I
to
can't
that.
even. I worked one with Steffan it was in Winter Park, and I was like, "What are we doing? What are we giving away? What are we
Right.
selling here?" And he was like, "Nothing." He goes, "I'm not gonna spend one more penny on like free this and free that." And I kid you not, he was dead right.
Let me explain that. I'm happy to give stuff away, but I learned over the years, if I have a booth and I have freebies, people just randomly show up and try to grab freebies. They are nice. Then they ask you, okay, tell me about Body Street. And I was talking the whole day. And so at some point I just realized it's just easier if I don't have any free stuff there, because then people who see, 20-minute workout, they see the display where we have the loop, the video where you can see it. And then the people show up that are actually interested in
Yeah.
finding something out. So that saves people a lot of time. It saves me a lot of time and energy. So I found out that that's a good strategy.
No, and I was like, "All right, let's do this," and we did,
Yeah.
and we ended up like by the time I left, we had like 12 people signed up for the free. He had the QR code. People
Nice.
did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I think that your closing ratio on that was like 80%. And I was like, all right. That's good. So
That's good.
gotta listen to this guy, Dino.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're wrapping everything up. We have about 30 seconds to, like I said, give everybody your contact information.
Yep. So BaaD Street Winter Garden, we are at 1200 East Plant Street, and our phone number is 863-280-0695.
And we are at 947 North Orange Avenue in Winter Park. Our phone number is 407-346-5311. You can find us. We have a great website. We have amazing social media.
Yes, we do.
And just Google BaaD Street and you will find us and book your free trial. We would love to see you.
Thank you so much and have a great week, everyone.